Monday edition of Biggest Story Tonight. A big day for India's diplomacy with Prime Minister Modi's personal engagement with the Emir of Qatar. 7 of the 8 naval veterans who were on a death row in Qatar have been sent back. They have come back to India. But then today's focus in Biggest Story Tonight is going to be the mega showdown that's really shaping up between farmers, particularly from Punjab, Haryana and some parts of western Uttar Pradesh and the centre, on issues they believe have been pending for a while. Is it a pressure tactic just ahead of general elections? Is it being done at the behest of some political elements to create a perception that there are problems in rural hinterland? We're going to focus on that with reporters joining us from multiple locations in Delhi and Punjab. Let's begin with the headlines first. Mega women's uprising in Sandeshkhali. TMC leaders face allegations of sexual exploitation and land grabbing. In an exclusive conversation with Arnab Goswami, Editor-in-Chief, Union Minister Smriti Irani takes on Mahatma government in a scathing attack. Irani hits out at TMC government, says she must step down. Mahatma must step down if she can't maintain law and order. Yet another big jolt for the Congress as Ashok Chavan, the former chief minister of the party in Maharashtra, dumps it. Sources say more defections likely soon. "24 hours ahead of the Delhi Chalo protest by farmers, Section 144 imposed in the national capital. As 7 Navy veterans who were undergoing trial in Qatar return home, Prime Minister set to meet the Emir of Qatar on February 15th on his way back from the UAE. All right, welcome back, friends. Security has been intensified along with Delhi's borders, and the reason is kind of mobilization we are seeing of farmers from Punjab and Haryana and some parts of western Uttar Pradesh, borders of Delhi at Singu, Tikri, Ghazipur, etc. are seeing massive security barricades and cops on vigil, even as the administration makes sure in Haryana and Punjab that the mobilization of farmers does not create a law and order situation. As many as 1,000 to 1,500 tractors are expected to be used by these farmers, and intelligence reports suggest that anything between 10 to 15,000 farmers could be mobilized and moved towards Delhi as part of their Delhi Chalo plan. Remember, this has been going on for a while. In fact, the centre has been in talks with these farmers. 2 rounds or 3 rounds of talks have already happened. One of them at the topmost level with the Union Minister Piyush Goyal actually leading along with 2 other ministers. In fact, as we speak, perhaps another round of talks is going on in Chandigarh, where the team of Union ministers has flown down to engage with the farmers and hope that in the last minute they would understand that protesting in this manner, which can inconvenience a great mass of citizenry in these states and along the affected highways which the farmers intend to take. And so that's the situation, and the government would want to not let farmers create a situation which could be a throwback to the 2020 farm laws protests, when for months together Delhi's access was choked by these protesting farmers at the very same borders, Ghazipur, Singu, Ambala. There are pictures coming in from various places where law and order arrangements have been tightened to make sure that there is nobody, no antisocial element, no anti-national element taking advantage of the mass movement of farmers. So we'll go to reporters. We are going to be joined in by Amandeep from Chandigarh. We're going to have Piyush Goyal from Tikri border, and we are going to have Harsha Chandwani from Singu border, I believe. And yes, they are there. So let's begin with Amandeep first. Amandeep, quickly, in a short reply, tell us what's the status of talks that was slated to take place between the farmers and the government, with the union ministers flying down to Chandigarh. Are the talks happening? Any solution in sight? Anything coming out from there?
Well, Abhishek, the talks are still underway, and in fact, this is the second round of meetings between the farmers and union ministers. And in fact, the farmers are very much onto their demand that the law for the MSP withdraw the cases that has been registered in 2020, and justice for Lakhimpur Kheri farmers, their crop loans, debt waivers. These are the demands that have raised by the farmers continuously. And in fact, still they are on their demands. And earlier in the first round of meetings, ministers sought some time to discuss the things with the union cabinet and the other ministers to meet their demands. And this is the second round of meetings just a day before of the protest. And in fact, the ministers are putting their all effort to diffuse this protest, just because the farmers have given the call throughout the Punjab and the different parts of the country as well. And even they have already reached to the halfway of the Delhi as well. And in fact, by tomorrow, they will start from the Fatehgarh Sahib towards the Delhi on the national highway. On the other side, Abhishek, Haryana has completely geared up to block the farmers while entering from the state of Haryana. All the borders connecting to Punjab, they have completely blocked. 64 paramilitary companies has been deployed on the road. 50 reserve police companies has been deployed. 3 companies of gear with the gears, they have also been deployed. The main striking point is the Shambhu border, which is actually located on the Delhi-Amritsar highway. And in fact, the Shambhu border has been completely walled by the Haryana police with the cemented walls as well as the spikes. And in fact, the 7-layer of security has also put in place. But all eyes are on this meeting, what is going to happen and what would be the outcome, just because so far the talks are still underway. Almost 17 Kisan leaders have participated into the talks, and in fact, the ministers are negotiating the talks to diffuse the protest. But the farmers are very much adamant to remain on their demands that either they are going to implement or not. Yes, Abhishek.
Amandeep, if you are getting me, my question is that if the farmers have already moved halfway via Ambala, Karnal, etc. to Delhi, and the kind of mobilization that we have seen over the last few days, then what are these talks about? Why are they talking if they have made it amply clear their intention to move to Delhi and to, create the blocks, roadblocks that could be a throwback to the 2020 farm laws protests? What are they talking about if they have already mobilized these many number of people and tractors, etc., and moved towards Delhi? Who are these people, Amandeep?
Abhishek, the point is that according to the Kisan leaders, they are claiming that they have started from the different parts of the Punjab, and in fact still they are in the jurisdiction of Punjab where they were mobilizing. One is Fatehgarh Sahib, another is Patiala. These locations are exactly nearby Punjab and Haryana borders, and tonight they are spending their night there, and by tomorrow morning, if these round of talks will fail, tomorrow early morning they will start towards the Delhi and try to cross the Haryana border. So the basic formula is to mobilize nearby the Punjab and Haryana borders, so that at least they will come in a full force to break the barricades of the Haryana the way they did in 2020 as well. Just because in 2020, 26th November was a day when they have crossed the borders and moved towards the Delhi Singu and Tikri borders by breaking down all the barricades by tossing off the security layers of the Haryana police. Those same episode they wanted to repeat, and that is the reason they are mobilizing their entire manpower nearby Punjab-Haryana borders. Yes, Abhishek.
All right, Amandeep. It's clear that they have already decided to go ahead with their protests. The talks seem to be sort of fig leaf just to suggest that they were reasonable, but then the talks fail. So let's see what's really happening on the ground, what the administration, not just of Delhi, but of Haryana and Punjab, is also doing to prevent any law and order situation emerging from the kind of mobilization that we are seeing. Let's go to Singu border first, where Harsha Chandwani is reporting from. Harsha, please tell us what kind of foolproof arrangements being made by police to make sure that the farmers don't create a civic unrest and the protests are orderly at the very least if the farmers reach the Delhi border tomorrow?
So Abhishek, right now Singu border I'm reporting from, and this is the highway and the bypass road where I'm standing right now. And to tell our viewers what exactly is happening right now is that more cemented barricades and iron barricades have been put up here, and more than 1,000 cemented barricades have been put up and placed here at highway, and almost 20 level of barricading has been done. I'll ask my camera person Ujjwal to also show you the crane through which these barricades have been lifted down, and this entire exercise has been going since afternoon. And the entire outer North Delhi police officials are already here and they are working. These are the stringent measures and the massive deployment at Singu border. Also Abhishek, because of this, there's a huge traffic jam and congestion also, because there are 10 level of barricading from Sonipat to Singu border and the bypass road, and that is the reason the stretch of 5 kilometers, the commuters are completing this stretch in almost 2.5 hours. This entire traffic jam, what we have seen is from past 2 hours, the vehicles are not moving. It is because of, I'll take my cameraman Ujjwal over there, because you can see the entire team of Delhi Police Outer North has gathered here, because on the other side of the road, through cranes, the cemented barricades and the iron barricades are being put up on road. And this entire night, this entire section and this highway will be blocked, and the diversion will be done through village side, and therefore commuters are being continuously asked not to use this very particular highway. And as you can see in visuals, RAF, CRPF, CISF and BSF and also Delhi police officials are deployed here at Singu border. These are the massive and stringent measures which have been taken and put in place here at Singu border, because Delhi police officials from 2021 have learned their lesson that this time they are going to pre-plan everything, and therefore they are working round the clock to ensure that the security measures in national capital are ahead, and no farmer could enter through Singu border in national capital, and therefore nail and thorns payments have also been made on the road. Back to you, Abhishek.
All right, let me also go to Piyush Ohri. He's at the Tikri border. Piyush, the cops have been preparing for this for a while now. If you can tell us, are they confident that they are going to be able to prevent the farmers from creating a civic nuisance even as they exercise their right to protest and their freedom of expression? And if yes, what arrangements have been made so that the Delhiites, people in Delhi, people wanting to come to Delhi, people needing medical attention, traveling in ambulances from those regions of Haryana and Western Uttar Pradesh close to Delhi, they are not inconvenienced?
So yes, Abhishek, what I can tell you is that yes, not only the Delhi police but also a large number of CRPF officials are over here at Tikri border, a very important border which connects West Delhi to Badurgarh, Jhajjar and Rohtak from here beyond. So thereby you see that not only the Delhi police officials but also a large number of paramilitary forces like CRPF are present over here. And just like Singu border, as what was mentioned by my colleague Harsha, there are also containers, there are also cemented walls, there are also barricades with fence wires being kept over here. But you raised a very important point, Abhishek, that does these blockades actually cause inconvenience? Yes, it does cause inconvenience. There are ample amount of measures that are being formed to make sure that the farmers do share their grievances and they do have the right to protest. But on the other side, there is also one part of how the shopkeepers, petrol owners, commuters over here are facing inconveniences. Because of the blockades which are being caused over here, you are seeing that how a lot of the shop owners are forced to be there in their home, and there have also been instances earlier in the occasion that how residents over here died because of certain cardiac arrest. So yes, a reason because of the reason because these blockades, there is also an inconvenience caused to the residents over here, and their inconveniences also needs to be highlighted equally as we share the grievances of the farmers that might protest now starting from tomorrow. Back to you in the studio.
Okay, thank you so much, Piyush Ohri, and of course before that, Harsha Chandwani and Amandeep from Chandigarh for bringing us up to speed with the kind of situation that's there on the ground, as also the talks that are going on in Chandigarh between the centre and these protesting farmers. Let's listen to some of these reactions and the kind of political face-off that's been happening on the issue over the last few days, but the voices from today, of course.
बातचीत चल रही है। 3 मंत्री केंद्र सरकार के दिल्ली से चलकर चंडीगढ़ आए हैं। पहले दौर की वार्ता हो चुकी है और अब दूसरे दौर की वार्ता भी होने जा रही है। फिर मंत्री आ रहे हैं और मुझे पूरी उम्मीद है कि बातचीत से बड़े बड़े मसले हल होते हैं और ये मसला भी हल हो जाएगा।
मीटिंग के बाद ही अगर सरकार कोई जैसे हमने आशा, मैंने बोला भी, अगर स्वयं प्रधानमंत्री जी कोशिश करें तो ये देश के किसान मजदूर से, जैसे 75 सालों से हमें MSP खरीद की गारंटी का कानून नहीं दिया गया, उसके ऊपर बात कर, उसको कोई कैसा करे, कोई नोटिफिकेशन हो, कुछ इस तरह के हो। उसके बाद डॉक्टर स्वामीनाथन कमीशन की जो रिपोर्ट है C2 प्लस 50%, उसके हिसाब से हमें दाम मिले फसलों के।
Amity has been ranked amongst the top 3% universities globally, a testimony to Amity's globally benchmarked quality.
1 crore women have already become Lakpati Didis. Now we are aiming at 3 crore women. The ambition, the partnership between women of this country and their Prime Minister is historic. Speaking of drones and women that fly, while we had the Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces take salutations and salutes from women in all roles, ranks and services this Republic Day, I'm also cognizant of the fact that the President of India has very humble origins, that she is the first girl in her village in Odisha who studied beyond Standard 5. That in her life's journey, she became an MLA, a minister, lost a Lok Sabha election, became the first ever female governor of Jharkhand, is the 3rd president ever in our country who has done a sortie in a fighter jet, her recent adventures with the Sukhoi. But imagine, her entire life's journey was about finding political space. Imagine her satisfaction, her pride, when the government of India, under the aegis of the Parliament, could present to her the Nari Shakti Vandan Adhiniyam, 33% reservation for women in this country. Imagine her pride. Imagine her pride as a Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces, when, yes, she sees veteran and personnel currently in service, received 1 rank, 1 pension, receive the best of support and supplies from the Government of India, but also at the helm, she sees women with permanent commission in the armed forces. Imagine her pride. And speaking of pride, there is a lady in the audience I would now point out to. They say our missions are sometimes called MOM. That we can go to Mars on the dark side of the moon on a budget which is possibly less expensive than a Tom Cruise movie. But at the helm of it were the women at ISRO. That the lady who, not from the lens of gender, but from the lens of science, looked at the sun, and sitting here bright amongst us, Nigar Shahji, a big round of applause for her. So as the President received salutations, salutes from women in all ranks, roles and services, was the tableau of ISRO with its genuine female scientist taking the Kartavya path with a sense of pride and gratitude. And these are the stories that make this summit special.
I am very, very happy to announce that Niva Bupa Health Insurance has come on board as Republic TV's studio partner. Niva Bupa Health Insurance is the fastest growing company among standalone health insurance players in India. It has also provided health insurance coverage to 1.1 crore people in India and settled over 15 lakh claims, processing one claim every 60 seconds. So we are delighted to be partnering with them.
One is told to make a choice between being a lawyer, being a successful lawyer, and also choosing and being a homemaker. How do you look at that? And I also want to add to what Dr. Anand said. You were in the forefront of the Permanent Commission for Women being given in the army. It's a case we've seen you very closely fight. Even in the army, therefore, there is this sort of tug of war where inclusion is not as spontaneous as it could be.
It has been a long journey and a really tough one, but I must tell you the change is inevitable, and change is very, it's very palpable also. So struggle that, women, incredible women before us had, ma'am was the second additional Solicitor General ever as a woman to be on this post, and I'm following her as a fourth one. So, the journey of women ahead of us has been tougher. The journey of young women behind us who are walking the same path is a little bit easier. And I want to tell you with my own example, in the first 5 years of my profession, clients would come to my office and say, "Ye ladki kya kar legi? Is ladki se nahi hoga." And 4 years back when I became an additional Solicitor General, I had to give up my private clients, and they told me, "Why don't you suggest a woman lawyer? Because we find that women lawyers are more sincere and more dedicated to their work." I think that change was incredible. And today, many of us, so we had to make that choice between either having a family till our generation. If you want to have a career, then you can't expect to have a family. And if you want to have a family, be a family woman. But today, I see a lot of younger women lawyers having family, walking with grace, their counterparts. Their spouses, their partners actually helping out with raising the next generation. So Justice RBG, the famous Ruth Bader Ginsburg, had famously said that the real change will really happen when men become equal stakeholders in raising the next generation. One thing I must say, for men in any field, they just need to be meritorious. For women, you need to be meritorious, and you need to have strong support system at home, because at home is where it really counts. And what the trouble is, most young girls get their wings clipped at home. So if you clip your daughter's wings at home, if you clip her, if you put her dreams into a box and you don't allow her to take a flight, she can't go out in the society and take that flight. She can't be a contributor to the nation. She can't be nation building tomorrow. You've clipped her wings already. If you become the...
मुझे लगता है कि केंद्र सरकार का घमंड बहुत बढ़ गया है, और पहले भी केंद्र का घमंड किसानों ने ही तोड़ा था, इस बार भी किसान ही इनका घमंड तोड़ेंगे।
हरियाणा की भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार किसानों को जो शांतिपूर्वक आंदोलन का ऐलान उन्होंने किया है, उसे रोकने के लिए जिस तरह की दरिंदगी, जिस तरह के सभी लोकतांत्रिक मर्यादाओं का उल्लंघन करते हुए जिस तरह से किलें ठोक रही है सड़कों पर, जिस तरह से दीवार खड़ी की जा रही है सड़कों पर, मुझे लगता है कि ये लोकतंत्र को किसी तरह से कत्ल करने के लिए ये सरकार उतारी हुआ।
These are simple demands that the farmers want to raise. They want to have a conversation or dialogue with their government. Why are they being blocked to enter Delhi? Why are you blocking mobile internet? Why are you suspending internet services all across Haryana and Punjab? Why are you so scared of your own people? Because you are in the wrong, because you have wronged India's farmers. And that's the simple explanation for
किसानों को लूटा जाता है, वहां पर आप MSP नहीं देते। क्यों नहीं देते? कि किसान आपको इलेक्शन के लिए चंदा नहीं दे सकता, इसलिए नहीं देते। इस बात पर गौर करनी पड़ेगी। किसानों की सुनो, अगर देश को आपने सशक्त करना है विश्व गुरु बनाना है तो आपको किसान की सुननी होगी।
About 100 years ago, less than 100 years ago, even mirrors were not usual. Many people did not have mirrors in their home. Most people had never seen their own face. This is less than 100 years ago. Can you imagine that mirrors were it was a very rare thing. Only very, very wealthy people may have a mirror or what you call a looking glass in their homes. So, आप ये सोचिए कि 100 years ago, most people never even looked at their own face. And now look what's happening today. Meaning, how many times do we look at our own face? Every single day. How many times? You know, so it's a huge shift. It's a huge mental shift in the way that we're thinking about ourselves. And this way of thinking is affecting so many parts of our life. And I actually am very concerned about the young people growing up today, because when we grew up, we didn't have cell phones. We didn't have access to the internet. I mean, I got my first phone when I went to college, and itna bada sa, I remember it was itna bada sa Nokia phone. So we never grew up with phones, but today's children who are continuously on screens and are always looking at themselves from the time they're less than 1 year old doing FaceTime. They're all doing FaceTime with their family members, and they mostly love it because they're seeing pictures of themselves. It's a very, very new, it's an entirely new neurological connection in our brain. So it's quite a dangerous place, a dangerous territory that we're really in, that we're treading.
That is exactly what I want to touch upon, because needless to say, the selfie culture has induced beauty standards. And beauty and the beauty industry has a whole new face to it as this is kicked in. You have a self-perception, self-image, and sometimes you think that you're falling short of it. You feel inadequate. You think in that sense, we need to very consciously draw a line of what our self-care practice should be and how we can responsibly practice a selfie culture?
I think that's a very important question today. The reason is that on one side you have people who are more conscious, and they are made more conscious because every time you post a picture, the first reaction is, how is she looking? How is he looking? When you meet somebody, and especially at least in India, the first thing, either they will say you have lost weight or you have gained weight. So imagine the amount of pressure a selfie would put, because now you are sharing with thousands and thousands of people who are judging you. So first is the mental pressure which I see amongst society, and it's faced more by women than men, because subconsciously women have been told that looking good is important for your acceptance. And that is a tragedy, because most women as young girls, when they grow up in a wedding, the girl is said she's pretty and the boy is said he's successful. And that's a tragedy, because a lot of women have worked hard in their professions and yet they are measured for how they look. Now, the point number 2 is the quick fix. Now, what happens when you try to quick fix rather than having a sustained practice of loving your body, loving yourself, taking care of yourself is, so what I see is that first is women despise themselves because of their bodies, subconsciously. And that's a tragedy again. Because when you despise yourself, you open the doors for surgeries. You open the doors for all kinds of surgeries, which could be from physical correction, cosmetic correction, which you don't need.
Come here, please.
תדריך עם הרקע של ה...
This goes now 20 meters deep. Okay. This goes inside, this goes inside. See the next stop is in the don't go anywhere alone.
Viewers, it's time for some Fast 50. I'm Shivangi Shukla. Let's get started. Allegations have been levied on the TMC leaders of sexual exploitation and land grabbing in Sandeshkhali, West Bengal. Sandeshkhali is making headlines once again at this time of alleged systematic sexual exploitation against women by TMC goons. Violent protests erupted in Sandeshkhali, where prohibitory orders under Section 144 of the CRPC were clamped after local women took out processions demanding the arrest of missing Trinamool leader Sheikh Shahjahan and his aides. National Commission for Women confirmed that they have taken suo motu cognizance in the Sandeshkhali violence case and that an investigation team of the NCW will be visiting Sandeshkhali tomorrow. On Sandeshkhali violence, West Bengal CM Mahatma Banerjee in Havra district said that arrests have been made in the incident. State Women Commission have submitted a report in the matter. Bengal governor met with Sandeshkhali locals to take stock of law and order situation. This comes after Governor C.V. Anand Bose cut short his visit to Kerala, the area, and also speak with villagers who protested against Trinamool leaders. 6 BJP MLAs, including leader of opposition Suvendra Adhikari, has been suspended by West Bengal Assembly Speaker Biman Bandyopadhyay today for disrupting the proceedings of the Assembly on the Sandeshkhali issue. The suspended BJP MLA Suvendra Adhikari slammed Bengal CM Mamata Banerjee and called Mamata an autocrat. He said that the BJP will support the women and that he's not afraid of even being hanged to death. If that is what it is, the punishment for supporting women. Suspended BJP MLA took shots at Bengal CM, saying that the BJP will reveal what she's trying to hide. He said that it will be able to tell everybody that CM of Bengal knows about the harassment of women in exchange of money. Union Minister Smriti Irani takes on Mamata government, says voices of women are being muffled in Bengal.
These are the women of Sandeshkhali who are crying out for help, for protection. Mamata Bandyopadhyay is known for the genocide of Hindus. That she will now allow her men to pick out Hindu young married women.
National Commission for Scheduled Caste Chair Arun Haldar has accused Sheikh Shahjahan of criminal activities, stating that his trial will commence under the NIA Act. Nitish government will win floor test with the support of 129 ND MLAs, 0 in opposition. Meanwhile, the opposition walked out from the State Assembly. Passing the Bihar floor test, JDU MLA Leshri Singh said that the opposition did not have the numbers. She said that although the opposition leaders had given a slogan, "Khela hoga," but they could not play and failed. On Nitish's win in the floor test, Congress MLA Dr. Shakil Ahmed Khan said that despite winning, the heads of the BJP-JDU alliance are hanging in shame. He said that when politics is done with deceit and deception and without ideology, this is what happens. Another big jolt for Congress as Ashok Chavan dumps party, so they say he's now likely to join BJP next. When asked if he will be joining BJP, former Maharashtra CM Ashok Chavan has said that he will tell the media in 48 hours after resigning from the Congress. Former Maharashtra CM Ashok Chavan said that he did not have a word with a single MLA of Congress party. A Congress leader has said that Ashok Chavan's resignation is shocking. He said that the reason for Chavan's resignation is the sudden and it's not clear. He said that the voters will teach BJP a lesson for breaking the Congress party. Ahead of Delhi Chalo march by the agitated farmers, the Delhi Traffic Police has issued an advisory for the commuters and Section 144 has been levied. Farmers from Punjab, Haryana and UP have called for the march on Feb 13 to demand a law guaranteeing MSP for their produce. General Secretary of Punjab Kisan Mazdoor Sangharsh Committee, Sarwan Singh has said that if the Prime Minister tries, he can win the hearts of the farmers. This comes ahead of the farmers' protest set to take place tomorrow. On farmers' protest, Haryana Home Minister Anil said that 3 ministers of the central government have come to Chandigarh and talks of the first round have been done and that he's hopeful that this issue will be resolved soon. Uttarakhand CM Piyush Goyal made a big announcement regarding Haldwani violence and said police station will open in Haldwani where violence took place. 7 Navy veterans who are undergoing trial in Qatar return home. Prime Minister Modi is set to meet the Emir of Qatar on Feb 14th. Prime Minister Modi distributed more than 1 lakh appointment letters to the newly inducted recruits via video conferencing. The Prime Minister also laid the foundation stone of Phase 1 of the integrated complex Karma Yogi Bhavan in the national capital. PM Modi has highlighted the fast pace with which the centre is recruiting youth to government jobs as compared to previous administrations where bureaucratic delays were common due to bribery. PM has praised the transparency in recruitment for allotting jobs.
युवाओं को भारत सरकार में नौकरी देने का अभियान लगातार तेज गति से चल रहा है। पहले की सरकारों में नौकरी के लिए विज्ञापन जारी होने से लेकर नियुक्ति पत्र देने तक बहुत लंबा समय लग जाता था।
Rao Avenue Court has granted interim bail to Manish Sisodia for 3 days between 13 and 15 Feb. Sisodia, who was accused in the Delhi liquor scam case, sought interim bail to attend his niece's wedding in Lucknow. Delhi CM Arvind Kejriwal, accompanied by Punjab CM Bhagwant Mann and their families, visited Ram Temple in Ayodhya. Speaking of the experience, Kejriwal stated that they felt an indescribable calm by offering prayers to Ram Lalla. Tamil Nadu Governor R.N. Ravi has refused to read out the customary address on the opening day of the Legislative Assembly session. Today, he said that the customary address contained numerous passages which he disagreed on factual and more moral grounds. Uttarakhand CM Piyush Goyal led the inauguration of 150 development schemes during the Nari Shakti Mahotsav in Haridwar in an effort towards women empowerment and socio-economic development. PM Modi and Sri Lankan President Ranil Wickremesinghe and Mauritius Prime Minister have participated in launch of UPI services in Sri Lanka and Mauritius via video conferencing. Mauritius Prime Minister has now announced the launch of co-branded RuPay card and emphasizing enhanced bilateral ties and digital transformations efforts during a milestone occasion. After the launch of UPI in Sri Lanka and Mauritius, their first UPI transaction was conducted by Indian citizens in Sri Lanka. Indian Foreign Minister has now visited Damascus, including talks with Syrian President Assad and foreign counterpart. Assad has criticized Israeli aggression, cautioning against regional conflict escalation in Gaza. In central Gaza, Palestinians are trying to navigate ongoing electricity cuts by relying on solar panels. Residents are offering charging services for cell phones and power banks to cope with the situation. Israeli military has rescued 2 hostages from captivity in the Gaza Strip. The operation took place in Rafah, with both men found in good medical condition. They are among the 136 hostages believed to be held by Hamas. Additional Israeli airstrikes have bombarded Rafah near the Kuwait hospital amidst ongoing conflict. The casualties were rushed for treatment as violence escalates in the region, where 1.4 million Palestinians are seeking refuge from the Israel-Hamas war. Israeli airstrikes in Rafah have caused multiple casualties, overwhelming Kuwait hospital amid the rising tension in the Israel-Hamas conflict. The US has warned Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu against any operation without a plan to protect civilians. European Union High Representative Joseph Borrell has warned Israel over disproportionate actions against Gaza Strip. As military action is ongoing, he asked Israel to protect civilian life and work towards a ceasefire. Israeli forces have successfully rescued 2 hostages from Gaza, sparking celebrations in Israel, but raising concerns about escalation. Families of the hostages have urged prioritizing negotiations for more releases amidst the ongoing conflict. Hospital officials in Rafah have claimed that at least 50 people were killed in airstrikes that accompanied an Israeli hostage operation. Residents in the area attacked by strikes had said that there were at least 17 to 18 strikes fired by Israel, followed by clashes that left people running for shelter. After the Israeli military conducted raids in Gaza, military spokesperson says that the complex rescue operation took place in Rafah. He also confirmed that 100 hostages still remain in Hamas captivity. Yemen's Houthi rebels backed by Iran claim to have targeted a US flagship in the Red Sea with naval missiles. The attack occurred at the Bab el-Mandeb Strait with no reported injuries as the ship continued its journey. Former Prime Minister Alexander Stubb is projected to win Finland's presidential runoff, securing 51.4% of votes against former Foreign Minister Pekka Haavisto. Pakistan People's Party leaders Bilawal Bhutto Zardari and Asif Ali Zardari met with PML leader Shehbaz Sharif in Lahore to discuss government information after the recent general elections in Pakistan. Around 75,000 people have gathered in Munich for Sea of Lights for Democracy protests to condemn racism, anti-Semitism and hate speech. People were seen chanting songs to stand up against the rise of the far right in Germany. Indonesia is preparing for the presidential elections as President Joko Widodo final term ends. 3 contenders, including the defense minister and 2 former governors, are eyeing the top post as over 205 million eligible voters are set to participate. A Texas sheriff stated that a shooter was shot down after an attack at the Houston megachurch of celebrity pastors Joel Osteen. 2 duty officers were killed during the shooting. A judge is considering further punishment for the former President Donald Trump following allegations of inflating his wealth on financial statements, resulting in millions of dollars in penalties. Experts say that a ban may be imposed on his business in his home state. U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin has been hospitalized due to an emergency, but will, however, retain his duties. The Pentagon has notified that the Deputy Defense Secretary has been preparing to assume further responsibilities if needed. Heavy rains have flooded the streets of Dubai, trapping cars as drainage systems struggle. The Emirati National Center for Meteorology has issued weather warnings till Tuesday noon, while Dubai police has sent out safety alerts urging caution. Marathon world record holder Kelvin Kiptum and his coach have died in a car crash in western Kenya. The incident occurred in a road in southern Kenya, which has been used as a prominent training area for long-distance runners. Argentine President Javier Milei arrived at the Vatican for a private meeting with Pope Francis. Milei is also set to meet with Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni and the President Sergio Mattarella.
Amity has been ranked amongst the top 3% universities globally, a testimony to Amity's globally benchmarked quality.
सारी बात की बात यही है कि मुझे बस ये लगता है कि मैं एक बहुत मामूली सी औरत हूँ. And the beauty to enjoy being a woman, I think that surpasses all pleasures and all joys, of pride of being a woman. And rest, I think everything has followed. Being who I am, being the person I am, आपने पूरी यात्रा पूछी, बहुत पुरानी यात्रा है, कई वर्षों की। आज चलते हुए ये लगता है जैसे कई जन्म जीत लिए हो, कई जन्म जी लिए हो, और कई चित्र उसमें, कई छवियां याद आती हैं। सबसे पहले माता पिता का एक ऐसी परवरिश याद आती है जहाँ कभी भी कोई फर्क नहीं था लड़का लड़की में। और मैं हमेशा एक बात, किस्सा याद करती हूँ और बताती हूँ कि जब मेरा जन्म हुआ कन्नौज में, तो पिताजी जब वहाँ पर पहुँचे, वो कानपुर में पोस्टेड थे, और मैं पैदा हो गई तो उन्हें पता चला, तब वो वहाँ से वहाँ पहुँचे। तो आते ही उन्होंने अपनी सास यानी मेरी नानी से कहा कि अम्मा तुमने बंदूकें छुड़वाई कि नहीं। तो वो अब अपने दामाद से क्या कहें सास, तो उन्होंने उस समय बड़े ही संकोच में कहा कि देखो कैसे बौरान है, बिटिया पे बिटिया भाई, और कह रहे कि बंदूकें छुड़वाओ। कौन सी बहुत खुशी की बात है, बिटिया पे बिटिया भाई, कोई बंदूकें छुड़ाने वाली बात है। यानी कि उस समय का जो परिवेश था कि मेरे से बड़ी बहन थी, तो बेटी पे बेटी हुई है, तो कौन सा सेलिब्रेशन करने का तो कोई इसमें ज़रूरत नहीं कि बंदूकें छुड़वाई जाए। और मेरे पिताजी ने कहा कि मैं डॉक्टर हूँ और ज़िला अस्पताल यानी सरकारी सेवा में हूँ, और मेरा अपना अनुभव रहा है कि अम्मा मरीज भर्ती रहता है तो पिता की सेवा बगल में बैठी बेटी ही करती है, भले बच्चे के इम्तहान छोड़ करके आई हो, लड़का मनी ऑर्डर भेजता है लेकिन सेवा बगल में बैठी बेटी ही करती है। तो ऐसी सोच के साथ मेरा जन्म, मेरी परवरिश हुई। तो ये कह सकते हैं कि जो बायस है जेंडर वाला, वो मैंने कभी महसूस नहीं किया, और पढ़ने में भी नहीं। और शायद जो आपने एक बात अभी कही सुचरिता, कि बहुत कम लोग जानते हैं आपके व्यक्तित्व के और पहलू, तो उसका शायद एक कारण है कि मैं ऑलराउंडर सी थी, पढ़ाई में भी थी, गाने में भी थी, और दोनों में एक तरह की एक शार्पनेस थी, ब्रिलियंस थी। जब तक समझती कि करूं क्या, गाते गाते शादी भी हो गई। और उसके बाद चूंकि ये सफ़र मैंने तय सोच लिया था मन में कि मेरी एक्सप्रेशन जो भी होगा, मेरा मकसद, मेरे पूरे अध्ययन, मेरी पूरी शिक्षा, मेरी पूरी समझ का जो अंजाम होना चाहिए, वो कहीं ना कहीं समाज को कुछ सकारात्मक बड़ा देने का होना चाहिए, समय को, विचार को बदलने वाला होना चाहिए, किसी के लिए कुछ अच्छा कर सकने वाला होना चाहिए। ये मेरे हमेशा दिमाग में था। डॉक्टर पिता की बेटी थी, और फिर जैसा बताते हैं कि एंटरटेनमेंट तो है गाना, लेकिन आई चोज टू सॉ बियॉन्ड इट। और कहीं ना कहीं जो अपने हमारे लिव्ड एक्सपीरियंसेस हैं, हमारे पूर्वजों के जो ट्रेडिशंस हैं, जो बॉन्डिंग है, कल्चरल इथॉस है पूरे इंडियन इकोसिस्टम का, लाइफ सिस्टम का, वो कैसे हमारे मातृशक्ति ने, कैसे हमारी दादियों ने गानों के ज़रिए, लोक कथाओं के ज़रिए, फोक थिएटर के ज़रिए, लोकाचार के ज़रिए कैसे उसको बचा के रखा, नई जनरेशन को सिखाया। आई डोंट दैट रोल कि आई हैव टू कैरी फॉरवर्ड दिस, I have to talk about it.
How many of you had those goosebump moments when we had our Chandrayaan landing on the moon? And you know, she is someone who was integral, or has been integral to not just Chandrayaan, in fact, ma'am, right? Many other of our projects which ISRO has spearheaded over the last couple of years.
Yeah. I'm handling all the interplanetary missions and the low Earth orbit missions, and I'm also the project director for the Aditya L1 mission, which sets up the first country's solar observatory.
So let's begin with that only, because I remember when the Aditya L1 was launched, you said it's a dream come true. Yeah. So why did you say that it's a dream come true?
In space missions, especially science missions, are very challenging because the instruments what we need to build, it's quite challenging. And it took for me 8 years back when I was handed over the project director post. It was really challenging. I was always looking for the day that a spacecraft will be completed and it will be launched. That's why I said it's a dream come true.
So the journey of conceptualizing Aditya and then seeing it go there.
Because it's a collaborative effort, not only with ISRO, other science institutes also, we had instruments from them. So working with them and making them build the instrument and deliver to us, that's a lot of people management is very, very important in those aspects. So it was That's why I said dream come true.
Right, okay, so the success part of it. So let's keep the science for later. Let's go back to the beginning and what really inspired you to pick up science and when you started, like class 11, class 12, did you think in terms of being part of ISRO, being part of Chandrayaan, or was it one step at a time? You were interested in maths. How your interest in science and maths began essentially?
It's all because of my father. He's a graduate in mathematics in those days of 30s, 40s. And he's a voracious reader too. So he developed the interest of science in us, in all his children. So, and I felt...
Public Niva Bupa Studio, your one stop for all the breaking news updates, and I am Nikita Sahai.
Hidden in their rhetoric was 3.8 lakh crores of bad financial assets. That in the decade that was lost opportunities. 14 social and rural sector ministries had a budget of 95,000 crores that was left unspent. That 6.4% of our national budget was left unspent, that too in segments that needed it the most. Helps us understand why I articulate the UPA era as the lost decade. That in that decade, the out-of-pocket expenditure for health nationally stood at 64.2%. That the lost decade led by the Congress party, and I still remember that evening where a TV studio was lit in July 2012, but 62 crore Indians were left behind in pitch darkness, the largest ever power outage. That is the decade that we've emerged from towards the light of development. That many amongst you have heard the Prime Minister articulate how we emerged from the fragile 5 to now the 5th largest economy in the world. But if I gave this emergence a gender lens, what would that lens help us see? Ladies, for your consumption, I say this. This white paper may not possibly outline, however, it is in black and white written, that when the Congress led UPA took office, across government of India on the schemes for welfare for women, a measly 10,845 crore rupees was spent. That by the time the Congress left office and Modi became Pradhan Sevak, this year's budget, if you look at it from a gender perspective, has estimated a spend of 3.1 lakh crores. That is the jump, not only in numbers, but ambition. So when I look back at the decade that was lost, I remember in the year 2013, came a report which said that 6% of our GDP was negatively impacted because of lack of sanitation coverage. But what alarmed us even more is that when crime against women and numbers associated with it were studied, close to 40 to 44% of sexual assault on women in that lost decade led by the Congress party, 40 to 44% of such assaults happened when women went out to defecate in the open. That this was not only a sanitation problem, this was not only a problem with regards to violence against women, this became a way of life for women who saw no hope.
Yes, it's a very slippery slope that we're on. That from looking into our mirrors to say how are we looking today, into your image deciding how you feel today. That's something which is a very slippery slope. And as we were talking about this, I actually fast forwarded to my life like 20 years. I'm almost 40. I'm almost 40 now. And I rewinded 20 years ago when I was a participant in the Miss India pageant. I was a participant in the Miss India pageant, and I was from a very good college. I had gotten a very good scholarship to study in a college abroad, and I came to do this beauty pageant on a whim. And I walked out of this pageant because I couldn't even at that age, the thought of being judged for the way that I looked was something I couldn't handle. I just couldn't, that wasn't something that sat right. And I actually ended up writing a book about that pageant, which became really a bestseller and kickstarted my career as a writer, and which then further went on to a deeper consciousness about wellness and teaching yoga, and that becoming something that I wanted to give to this world. But it's also the passage of time. For me at that age, thinking that this was the way that I looked would define me into that journey, that this had nothing to do with who I was. And then as you age, you realize even more how fleeting the way that you look is, and how it really doesn't matter. But what's more important is the state of your own mind. And that's what my yoga journey led me to, that it's not the state of my face, it's not the state of my career. Ultimately, what's making me happy is the state of my mind. And if the state of your mind is correct, then no matter what happens to you in life, your life will always remain balanced. Like no matter जो भी आपकी जिंदगी में हो रहा है, अगर आपकी स्थिरता मन की रहती है, तो आप कुछ भी कर सकते हैं. And then that's slowly how things progressed. So it really is a journey, but it took me, it started for me much later because we weren't exposed to so much, but I now see that things are happening at a much younger age. So that actually makes our job, very important, that we have to start spreading that awareness, much more so, that it's not the state of your face, it's not the state of your body, it's the state of your mind which will ultimately make you a successful human being. It's not how much money you make, it's not how much fame you get. And it's interesting because now I'm in Mumbai and I teach and I interact with some of the most famous people, in Bollywood, and I understand that it doesn't matter how you look, it's ultimately the state of your mind. And wo log itni fitness, physical level pe, itna fame, itna paisa, but the mind is not still, and that can still lead to a very unhappy person. Which will then lead to that unhappiness can then manifest into many conscious and subconscious disease. So that's how the trajectory goes. So it's just, educating now on nutrition, which is the first pillar of health, and then moving forward becomes very important.
Amity has been ranked amongst the top 3% universities globally, a testimony to Amity's globally benchmarked quality.
I am very, very happy to announce that Niva Bupa Health Insurance has come on board as Republic TV's studio model. Niva Bupa Health Insurance is the fastest growing company among standalone health insurance players in India. It has also
Mega women's uprising in Sandeshkhali. TMC leaders face allegations of sexual exploitation and land grabbing. In an exclusive conversation with the editor-in-chief Arnab Goswami, Union Minister Smriti Irani takes on Mamata government in a scathing attack. Smriti hits at the TMC government, says Mamata should step down if she can't maintain law and order. Yet another big jolt for Congress as Ashok Chavan dumps party. Sources say more defections likely soon. "24 hours ahead of Delhi Chalo protest by farmers, Section 144 imposed in national capital." As 7 Navy veterans who are undergoing trial in Qatar return home, Prime Minister set to meet the Emir of Qatar on February 15. All right, welcome back, friends. 200 farm unions will march to Delhi on February 13th to press the centre to accept their demands, which range from some legitimate ones like wanting some structured understanding or a legal basis to the minimum support price mechanism, to some very outlandish ones like taking away of cases for the parali burning or the farm fires. Elaborate security arrangements and restrictions have been placed in the national capital on the Delhi, Haryana and Haryana-Punjab borders. The Haryana government has also imposed prohibitory orders under Section 144 of the CRPC, as also, of course, Delhi Police. Take a look at this comprehensive report, and then I come back to discuss some burning questions.
Over 200 farmers' unions are all set to march to Delhi for a large-scale protest scheduled for tomorrow. Heavy security has been deployed at borders with multi-layered barricading to stop the farmers' Delhi Chalo march.
You can see the barricades are over here. There are several barricades that have been placed over here at Tikri border, and on top of it there are some barbed wires, the barbed fences which have been kept. Now this has all been done to make sure that there is no untoward incident, and the farmers which if they plan to come over here at the Tikri border are allowed to not cross the border.
Meanwhile, security has been heightened at Singu border ahead of the protest.
Through the visuals, I would like to show our viewers that how the security enhancement has been done at different levels at Singu border. The cement barricade, iron barricade, normal barricades, containers, cranes, water cannon, all have been placed and put up at Singu border. At various service lanes, these barricading have been done to ensure that the vehicles and the protesters don't reach from Punjab and Haryana to Delhi.
Through this protest, the farmers aim to compel the centre to address their demands, including the enactment of a law ensuring MSP. Three central ministers, Piyush Goyal, Arjun Munda and Nityanand Rai, are meeting farm representatives from Punjab and Haryana.
बातचीत चल रही है। 3 मंत्री केंद्र सरकार के दिल्ली से चलकर चंडीगढ़ आए हैं। पहले दौर की वार्ता हो चुकी है और अब दूसरे दौर की वार्ता भी होने जा रही है।
The Delhi police has issued a traffic advisory urging commuters to take alternate routes.
हर चीज़ को मॉनिटर कर रहे हैं, इंक्लूडिंग सोशल मीडिया और जो भी इनपुट्स आ रहे हैं, और हमारे एडवांस स्पॉटर्स भी हम लोगों ने डिप्लॉय किए हुए हैं, डीप इनसाइड यूपी एंड इनसाइड हरियाणा, इवन एज फार एज पंजाब. तो वी आर गेटिंग लाइव इंफॉर्मेशन व्हाट इज हैपनिंग. और हम लोगों ने अपना जो एक अरेंजमेंट है 11 तारीख से ही नॉर्थ ईस्ट डिस्ट्रिक्ट में 11 तारीख से ही शुरू कर दिया था.
The Delhi police has imposed Section 144 at the Ghazipur, Tikri and Singu borders ahead of the march. Bureau Report, Republic TV.
All right, joining me in a bit, spokesperson of the BJP, Charu Pragya, live from Delhi. We have Binay Singh, political analyst, live from Delhi in my studio. In fact, Master Shivraj Singh to give us the farmers' view, National President, Bharatiya Kisan Union Lok Shakti, also to give the farmers' view, Chaudhry Savit Malik, National President, Kisan Union, live from Delhi. We also have Akash Dimmuni and Ashutosh Mishra giving us the AAP view and the Congress view respectively. Familiar faces on our panels. But let me begin with Master Shivraj Singh, who's there in the studio with me. आप बताएं, ये कौन किसान हैं? ये चुनाव से पहले जो चुनाव का प्रोटेस्ट हो रहा है, ये एकदम से क्या हो गया कि चुनाव से पहले एमएसपी की डिमांड हो रही है? कौन लोग हैं, कौन कर रहे हैं ये लोग? कांग्रेस के हैं, आम आदमी पार्टी के हैं, आरएलडी के हैं, किसके हैं, कौन है?
मैं देश से ये पूछना चाहता हूं कि जो विधायक और सांसद और मंत्री हैं, चाहे पक्ष है या विपक्ष है, इनको क्या कभी देश में आंदोलन करने की जरूरत पड़ी है? इनकी तनख्वाह अपने आप बढ़ जाती है, वेतन भत्ता अपने आप बढ़ जाता है, पेंशन अपने आप बढ़ जाती है, और जो इनको विकास निधि मिलती है उसमें से 40% ठेकेदार के माध्यम से कमीशन और खा जाते हैं। ये क्यों नहीं आंदोलन करते देश में? इनके लिए क्यों नहीं सरकार सोचती कि इनकी तनख्वाह बंद कर दी जाए? देश का आधे से अधिक बजट खा जाते हैं। हमारे जो पशु हैं, आवारा पशु, वो रातों रात किसान खेत पर जगता है और फिर भी आवारा पशु हमारी फसल को चट कर जाते हैं। उसके लिए हमने कहा था कि बीएसएफ की तर्ज पर एएसएफ का गठन किया जाए देश में, एग्रीकल्चर सिक्योरिटी फोर्स का, कृषि सुरक्षा दल का। वो सरकार नहीं करती है। हमें जो बीमा हमारा कटता है, जिस समय हम क्रेडिट कार्ड से लोन मिलते हैं, बीमा कंपनी हम पे कोई आपदा आती है, हमारा पैसा हमारे पास तक नहीं आ पाता है। देश में एमएसपी गारंटी कानून नहीं बनता है, देश में किसान आयोग का गठन नहीं बनता है। जैसे शीतकालीन सत्र है, वर्षाकालीन सत्र है, कोई देश में किसान सत्र नहीं चलता है लोकसभा राज्यसभा में। क्या किसान देश में सौतेली माँ का बेटा बन के रह गया है या कमाने के लिए रह गया? भूखे पेट वो कमाता रहता है।
चौधरी सवित मलिक, ये आपने जो डिमांड सुनी, ये किसानों की डिमांड है। मेरा प्रश्न ये था कि ये कौन किसान है, ये किसी पार्टी से संबद्ध है या नहीं? पर चलिए आप भी बताइए, मैं किसानों की पूरी बात सुन लूं, फिर हम अपना पॉलिटिकल कॉन्वर्सेशन करेंगे। चौधरी सवित मलिक जी, आप बताइए कि ये जो किसानों का प्रोटेस्ट एकदम से शुरू हो गया है, क्या सरकार से संवाद करना संभव नहीं था?
देखो, जो आपने कहा कि ये किसी राजनीतिक पार्टी से है या क्या है, ऐसा नहीं है। ये वो लोग हैं जिनको सरकार ने धोखा दिया, और यहाँ पर जो दिल्ली बॉर्डर पर आंदोलन कर रहे थे और उनको कहा गया था कि आप लोगों की सारी मांगे मान ली गई है, लेकिन जब वो चले गए तो उनकी कोई भी बातचीत सुनने को तैयार नहीं है। ना ही सरकार ने कोई मीटिंग करी। एमएसपी की कमेटी के नाम पर एक दल का गठन किया, उसमें भी वो लोग थे जो 3 काले कानून लाने वाले थे। जो एमएसपी कमेटी के अध्यक्ष बनाए गए हैं, उस टाइम वो सरकार में सेक्रेटरी थे, उन्हीं की अध्यक्षता में वो कानून बने थे जो पीछे के दरवाजे से लाए गए थे। दूसरी, हम कहते हैं हमारा देश लोकतंत्र में है, यहाँ पर राजतंत्र नहीं है, तानाशाही नहीं है। तो क्या हम अपनी आवाज उठाने दिल्ली नहीं आ सकते? हमारे साथ वो व्यवहार किया जा रहा है, वो नुकीले तार लगाए जा रहे हैं जो जानवरों के लिए प्रतिबंधित है, वो कीले गाड़ी जा रही। अरे अगर आप में दम है तो वहां चाइना और पाकिस्तान के बॉर्डर पे गाड़ी है ना, जो जमीनें कब्जा कर रहे हैं। आप अपने किसानों से लड़ रहे हैं जो आपके लिए पेट भरने का काम कर रहे हैं। हम एक ही चीज की मांग कर रहे हैं कि जो हमारी फसल है उसका
मंत्री चंडीगढ़ तक गए आपसे बात करने के लिए। ऐसा नहीं है कि सरकार संवाद नहीं कर रही है, वो एक लॉ एंड ऑर्डर अरेंजमेंट है। बट चारू प्रज्ञा, you have heard the 2 Kisan representatives on the panel. How would you respond to this thing that they should be allowed to protest? You know, they are saying that they were promised certain things which did not materialize after the farm laws were taken back. That's why they have been forced. Both the farmer leaders did not answer my question about the timing of the protest, but they are saying their protest is their legitimate constitutional right.
And when they're looking at their so-called legitimate constitutional right, what happens to the legitimate constitutional rights of all the people who live in Delhi NCR? What happens to the loss of revenue that is incurred in all these neighboring states? If I tell you the data from 2020 in December alone, we lost 70,000 crore because of this protest. Lives were lost because of this protest, and we cannot take that lightly. And you know why these lives were lost? You cannot pin the blame anywhere else, because these farmers refused to move to a safe space. The farmers refused to get tested for COVID. The government said that the greater welfare is more important to us. We will take the farm laws back. Uske baad, should you not be taking the legal route? Should you not be knocking on the doors of the Supreme Court? Or are you so politically inclined that for you blockading roads around Delhi NCR is more important than actually achieving any kind of good for the farmers? And I'm sorry, इस protest के अंदर जो ये बोल रहे हैं, किसानों की बात कर रहे हैं, आप मुझको बताइए ना कि कौन सा वो objective है जिस पे सरकार आपके साथ खड़ी नहीं थी और खड़ी नहीं है। You are getting what you want, but you cannot hold the entire country to ransom repeatedly because you are being nudged by political people.
बता दीजिए आपने बजट में या पिछले 36 महीने में किसान के लिए कह रहे हैं उसकी घोषणा
छोटी मांग कैसे होती है मैं देखता हूँ, मैं समझाता हूँ। देखिए पिछले 10 साल में
महीने में चुनाव है तो आपको सारा याद आ गया।
एडिंग सम फैक्ट्स,
चुनाव है, आपने 2019 से अब तक कोई भारत रत्न नहीं दिया। आप भारत रत्न बांट सकते हैं, नियम तोड़कर बांट सकते हैं। 1 साल में 3 भारत रत्न दिए जाते हैं, आप 5 लोगों को भारत रत्न।
कोई नियम नहीं तोड़ा गया है भारत रत्न के लिए, कोई नियम नहीं तोड़ा गया है। आपको खुश होना चाहिए कि किसान नेता चौधरी चरण सिंह को भारत रत्न मिला है। बट चारू, आई एम जस्ट एडिंग सम फैक्ट्स। मिनिमम सपोर्ट प्राइस इज द बिगेस्ट इशू इन दीज डिमांड्स। यू नो देयर आर सम फ्रिवलस वंस आल्सो। चारू होल्ड ऑन, आई एम जस्ट एडिंग सम फैक्ट्स। I'm just adding some facts. चौधरी साबित मलिक जी, मेरे थोड़ा एक तथ्य सुन लीजिए। जो मिनिमम सपोर्ट प्राइस है जो यूपीए सरकार में दिया गया था उससे 2.5 गुना ज्यादा, 250% ज्यादा मोदी सरकार ने दिया है। 18 लाख करोड़ मोदी सरकार ने दिया है, जो शायद यूपीए सरकार के जो 10 साल थे उसमें 8 लाख करोड़ से भी कम था। तो ऐसा नहीं है कि सरकार को समझ नहीं है क्या करना है, सरकार ने किया है। और मैं एक पॉलिटिकल एलिमेंट, आशुतोष मिश्रा, यू नो कंपनसेशन फॉर क्रॉप डैमेज ड्यू टू फ्लड्स, देयर आर ऑलरेडी मैकेनिज्म्स इन प्लेस।
5 किलो एक बार निकाल लिया।
बट द पॉलिटिकल एस्पेक्ट ऑफ इट, ठीक है। मलिक जी, मैंने आपको सुन लिया। थोड़े और 2 पैनलिस्ट हैं जो उनको भी लेना है, आकाशदीप पुनी और आशुतोष मिश्रा को। आशुतोष मिश्रा पहले। आशुतोष मिश्रा जी, आप देखेंगे 16 नवंबर को 2023 में, चारू ओके, यू विल गेट टू कंप्लीट, आई विल कम बैक टू यू, आई एम जस्ट गेटिंग एवरीवन इन्वॉल्व्ड, यू विल गेट टू रिस्पॉन्ड। सो रमनदीप सिंह मान है, उनका दीपेंद्र हुड्डा के साथ 16 नवंबर को मीटिंग हुआ। उसके बाद उन्होंने इश्तेहार निकाल दिए और बोला कि फार्मर जो है आके प्रोटेस्ट करेंगे पंचकुला में 26 नवंबर को, 10 दिन बाद। उसके बाद और भी ऐसे प्रोटेस्ट शुरू हो गए नवंबर दिसंबर में। आप देखें, मेरे पास एक तस्वीर है जिसमें रमनदीप सिंह मान, जो फार्मर लीडर हैं, जो फार्मर्स प्रोटेस्ट ऑर्गेनाइज करते हैं, एक जगह बैठ के स्टारबक्स की कॉफी पी रहे हैं। मैं भी नहीं पीता हूं, करीब 500 रुपए की आती है, राइट विनय सिंह? आशुतोष मिश्रा, फिर आप देखें कि वो मिलके जाके मिलते हैं गुरमीत मंगत से, जो एक कांग्रेस के नेता हैं, और फिर और स्ट्रैटेजी बनती है फार्मर्स प्रोटेस्ट करने की। और फिर ये मेरे ख्याल से जो किसान यूनियन है उनकी कुछ डिमांड जायज होंगी। हमारे साथ जो किसान नेता हैं दोनों, मलिक साहब और शिवराज सिंह जी, उनको उन्होंने समझाया होगा कि आप आ जाइए। इनके लिए क्या होता है कि बहुत सारे मुद्दे तैयार होते हैं और कुछ जेन्युइन भी होते हैं। मैं बिल्कुल,
अगर किसी मुद्दे पे गलत कह रहे तो आप ऑब्जेक्शन कर सकते हैं।
बिल्कुल जेन्युइन होते हैं। मैं पॉलिटिकल लिंकेजेस की बात कर रहा हूं। कांग्रेस के आशुतोष मिश्रा कांग्रेस का व्यू देंगे। आशुतोष मिश्रा, यू थिंक देयर इज डेफिनेटली एन एलिमेंट ऑफ पॉलिटिकिंग इन दिस, विद लेफ्ट एंड द कांग्रेस कमिंग टुगेदर टू फोमेंट ट्रबल बाय गेटिंग दीस फार्मर्स टू प्रोटेस्ट अहेड ऑफ इलेक्शन।
कांग्रेस बात करते हैं, आप बताते, कांग्रेस वाले बात करते हैं, आम आदमी वाले बात करते हैं।
नरेंद्र मोदी had promised last time that MSP will be given.
मलिक जी उनको बोलने दीजिए।
And that wasn't done. That wasn't done. The 3 farm laws at that time was suspended because Modi knew that if he didn't do that, he would lose elections in UP. And now the farmers are realizing that a few days later, maybe Amit Shah will come and say that promise was just a jumla. And that's what has brought them to this Delhi Chalo thing. And you talk about facts. I mean, amongst the agricultural workers, real wages have actually declined in the Modi era, between 2014 and 2021-22. In budget 2023, that is the last budget, in 2019, PM Kisan Samman Nidhi was launched, and now in 2023 they decreased the amount that was to be given, the amount that was budgeted. The amount was still 6,000 per farmer. Now they have been trying to, I won't say a fool, but they have not been keeping their promises to the Kisans. And if the Kisan today feels that elections are there and Modi only listens, and there is a precedence. He listened to them in withdrawing the farm laws when there were elections in UP, and he was afraid of losing elections. So sometimes कभी-कभी क्या होता है ना कि वो इनको किसानों को लग रहा है कि लातों के भूत बातों से नहीं मानते, and that's why they have come here कि भाई हमारी बात मानो, हमारे साथ जो अन्याय कर रहे हो, अभी आपको इन्होंने किसानों
farm laws narrative before I go to Charu Pragya again.
रियल वेजेस फॉल हो रही हैं, जो ये किसानों को आप बात करते हैं चार
Ashutosh,
पॉलिटिकल है, तो ये
Ashutosh, one of the objectives of farm laws was to integrate our rural side hinterland with the markets. Ashutosh, please listen to me. Also, one of the objectives of the farm laws was to get fair remuneration for the farmers. आप कैसे देखते हैं, कभी टमाटर 50 पैसे में बिकता है, कभी 100 रुपए भी बिकता है. So to get a fair remuneration for the farmers, to integrate them with the markets, to empower them, farm laws had an element which has been brought in through ENAM now. Now, what is the turnover of National Agriculture Market, Electronic National Agriculture Market, where crores of farmers are taking advantage of it, 3 lakh crore rupees. ये किसके पास जा रहा है? किसानों के पास जा रहा है ना? I think you are giving a spin. And before I go to Charu Pragya, Akashdeep Muni, your government in Punjab, I think is doing a fair balancing act. I would give it to... No, Bhagwan Singh Maan has done a very fair balancing act. He has provided the services of his administration to let dialogue happen between the center and the protesting farm unions. I think the people who had died during farm protests in 2020-21 were clearly farmers and their family members. So I think that pain is there. Akashdeep Muni, with the kind of stand and position your government has taken, you think these farmers' protests could be a ploy by the Congress party to create trouble ahead of elections?
You know, Abhishek, you are totally right. You are a senior journalist. You are right that these farm protests have a particular motive. And yes, Bhagwan Singh Maan government gave MSP to people. Bhagwan Singh Maan government gave 7,275 rupees MSP to people. I want to ask that if Bharatiya Janata Party has the caliber to provide the same MSP, the highest MSP in any state throughout the whole country. Now, coming on to the economics of this particular request of MSP. Your Bharatiya Janata Party panelist, I will tell her that your MP, Subramaniam Swamy, now don't be an anarchist. Don't be an anarchist and don't stop me. Your MP says that why is Modi willfully refusing to accept
one minute. Me talking makes me an anarchist. And you tearing up files and jumping around in parliament doesn't make you one. What is this? Yeah, mind your language.
Please don't be a ruckus.
Please mind your language.
Don't heckle me, please. And he says that Sikh farmers are not...
I never heckled you till you called me an anarchist. I was only telling Abhishek I would like to speak, but I will not let you call me names and get away with it. I'm sorry. You either apologize or you deal with me talking.
Bharatiya Janata Party MP can come out and say that yes,
no personal comments. Charu is objecting to your calling her an anarchist.
Never happened, Abhishek. I'm not going to stand for this. How dare you call me an anarchist? Can I tell you what an anarchist is? Any Aam Aadmi Party person is the pure definition of what an anarchist stands for.
Now this is very ridiculous.
दिया, पंजाब बर्बाद कर दिया और मुझे anarchy बता रहे हो.
No, Akashdeep, listen, let me get this order. Let me get this in order.
And I will make you apologize before we move on, please.
Bharatiya Janata Party did a wrong thing.
Abhishek, please step in, because in any case, I would like to speak, but I'm not going to allow you to call me an anarchist.
Charu is not conceding.
Will you heckle me now?
Akashdeep, Charu is not conceding. Can you...
Why you are doing this?
Can you... No. Can you use a different word for the interjection that Charu made?
Deal with the consequences of your actions.
Charu Pragya, see the face of a BJP heckler. She acknowledged on TV that she's
No, tell him to take the word back. Tell him, Abhishek, apologize to me and then begin again. I will let him talk. Why is he allowed to call me names and get away with it? मैं इनको बोल रही हूँ क्या गुंडा? मैं इनको बोल रही हूँ क्या झूठा? मैं इनको बोल रही हूँ क्या anarchist Christian? मैंने तो बोला नहीं. Why should I allow him to say all this and let him get away with it?
Akashdeep, we are having a substantive dialogue. बहुत जरूरी मुद्दे पे बात हो रही है.
You, Charu Pragya, can support it.
Akashdeep does not.
Charu, okay, I'll get you to respond to Akashdeep Muni point by point. Let him complete. Akashdeep, only 30 seconds, please complete. Charu, I'll come to you. Akashdeep, only 30 seconds, please complete.
An apology to me.
My limited point is that when a Bharatiya Janata Party MP can come out and say that farmers' demand of MSP is right and he supports it in a tweet today, Subramaniam Swamy, why Charu Pragya, who is sitting here, cannot support it? Second point, 7,275 rupees MSP per year is given by Punjab government. Has it been given by any other government, Haryana government, any other government in the country? No, has not.
No, I think Akashdeep Muni, the same Punjab government wants rupees 50,000 crores from the center because they don't have money to pay even salaries. But Charu, now you get to respond. Charu. See, Charu, you have to. Akashdeep, you got a chance. Akashdeep, you got a chance. Let Charu respond. Charu. Yes, Akashdeep, now you don't be the heckler. You don't be the anarchist. Akashdeep, let her respond. Charu.
पंजाब में, उत्तर प्रदेश में गन्ने के रेट में और बिजली
आएंगे आपके पास फिर से आएंगे मलिक साहब, मैं आऊंगा आपके पास फिर से. जल्दी से चारू को बोलने दीजिए. मेरे को आखिरी 2 कमेंट आपको दूंगा, मलिक साहब और शिवराज सिंह जी को. चारू.
So I'm going to tell you facts, figures and numbers, Abhishek. No rhetorics here. In wheat, MSP increased by 41%.
You get a minute, Charu,
but 43%. For Masoor, it is 73%. For Urad, it is 40%. For Moong, it is 60%. For Arar, it is 40%. There is record procurement. I can go on and on. DBT was introduced so that money is not siphoned off what belongs to the farmers, reaches the farmers. More than 11.5 lakh. फिर से आप बीच में बोल रहे हैं. अभिषेक, listen, I am quoting facts here and I.
No, मलिक साहब बीच में ना बोले. आपको मौका मिलेगा. मलिक साहब, आपको मौका मिलेगा, बीच में ना बोले.
Abhishek, this is not done.
आपको मौका मिलेगा. चारू कंप्लीट.
ये तरीका ठीक नहीं है अभिषेक.
Yeah, I've stopped him. मलिक साहब, आपको मौका मिलेगा. बोलने दे.
You need to put their faders down.
Okay, Charu, go ahead.
Can I come in please now?
Yes. Okay, Charu, go ahead.
So I will tell you what DBT has done. 15.5 lakh crore has reached the farmers of India directly. I was reading out MSP figures to you. These are given by Modi Sarkar. This is the ground number. This is the reality of the farmers today. Inko jo bolna hai, bolne do. Government e-marketplaces have been created. There is a 6,000 per annum which is being given to every single Kisan in the country. And the hike in MSP is actually making transformations on ground, whether it is a soil card, whether it is offering them irrigation support, whether it is standing by them and doing what is right for them.
The facts and figures are there, but then I think it's a ploy. Charu, you have to understand, these facts and figures are there, but it's a ploy.
In the guise of their own political objectives.
अबे बिनय सिंह जी से मैं बात नहीं कर पाया हूँ. चारू प्लीज. The facts and figures are there, you put them across, but Binay Singh, is it possible really to make minimum support price a statutory figure? Can you give legal basis to minimum support price? Really?
Cannot fix that. From time to time, the market.
No, the government has given Bharat Ratna to MS Swaminathan formula.
But I'm telling the government, every time when you protest or even when you don't protest, you raise your demands. The government is in a mood and in a situation, or they're ready for a talk, for a dialogue. But when you hit the road, anytime without notice, in massive numbers, what happens, Abhishek? If you say that you have a right to protest, there means it is a responsibility to protest. And I am just hearing two, farmer union leaders. One just said that he has problem with the Sansad and Vidhayaks. They are having a cut of 40%. So you have option. You don't vote for that person. And the second, Mr. Malik just said that he has problem that why Bharat Ratna was given to Chaudhary Charan Singh. I think Mr. Malik, आपके पड़ोस वाले आपको बता देंगे, इसका जवाब दे देंगे कि चौधरी चरण सिंह को क्यों नहीं मिलना चाहिए था भारत रत्न.
Okay. I want to give before I close, I want to give 30 seconds each to the farmer representatives, leaders that are there on our panel. Master शिवराज सिंह जी, आप एक बात की गारंटी देंगे, आपको सब गारंटी चाहिए, पर आप एक बात की गारंटी देंगे कि जो आम आदमी है उसको तकलीफ ना हो. आप एम्बुलेंसेस को आने दें, आप लोगों का आना जाना चलता है, जो सब रूरल एरिया से सामान आता है, उसमें तकलीफ ना हो.
मैं एक बात आपसे कह रहा हूं ऑन रिकॉर्ड, जो भाजपा का एक अंग है किसान संघ, उसने रामलीला मैदान में लास्ट ईयर एक पंचायत करने की घोषणा की और वो आराम से दिल्ली में पहुंच गया और हजारों की लाखों की भीड़ में उसने किसानों की आवाज के लिए, जो भाजपा का ही अंग है, उसने दिल्ली में प्रदर्शन किया. अगर किसान दिल्ली में प्रदर्शन के लिए जाता है, बैरिकेटिंग ना लगाएं, जहां भी जंतर मंतर पे रामलीला मैदान में सुरक्षित स्थान दे दें।
पर उसकी
दूसरी बात मैं ये कहता हूं, किसान को प्रोटेस्ट करने की आवश्यकता ही नहीं है। जो बात तय हुई थी उस पर सरकार अमल कर जाए, कोई हम किसी की गद्दी नहीं मांग रहे।
उसके लिए सरकार से बात तो चल रही है ना।
बात नहीं, सीधे अमित शाह आकर के किसान प्रतिनिधि मंडल से बात कर ले, और किसी को तो अधिकार ही नहीं।
बहुत बड़े मंत्री हैं,
अमित शाह बात कर ले, मोदी जी सीधे डायरेक्ट बात कर ले। किसानों के
बड़े मंत्री हैं पीयूष गोयल,
वो रैली नहीं करते अपने किसी सेब दफ्तर पे बुला करके 10-20
ये कंडीशन आप कैसे रख सकते हैं? ये कंडीशन आप कैसे रख सकते हैं कि यही बात करें हमसे? ऐसा
वार्ता कोई ना करे। जैसे प्रधानमंत्री जी ने घोषणा की कि जो किसान बिल है वो रिपील किए जाते हैं, वापस किए जाते हैं, और मैं देश से माफी मांग रहा हूं। इसी प्रकार प्रधानमंत्री आकर के चैनल पे घोषणा कर दे, एमएसपी को गारंटी कानून आज से बनाया जाता है। जो किसान आयोग का गठन है उसको किया जाता है। छोटी छोटी
नहीं, अगर वो नहीं होगा तो आप कानून व्यवस्था से कॉम्प्रोमाइज करेंगे?
क्या कोई बड़ी बात है?
मलिक साहब,
वादे नहीं किया जाए, बड़ी बात है किसान मतलब एमएसपी गारंटी कानून।
मलिक साहब,
इसमें क्या नुकसान हो जाएगा?
मलिक साहब, उसकी बात करेंगे, आने वाले दिनों में बात करेंगे। मलिक साहब, एक
गारंटी कानून
नहीं, मैं समझ गया, हम इस पे बात करेंगे, बहुत दिन चलने वाला है ये। मलिक साहब, वन वर्ड फ्रॉम यू कि क्या आप आम आदमी को, आम औरत को, जनता को तकलीफ ना हो इस तरह का प्रोटेस्ट करेंगे?
अभिषेक जी, मैं बड़े कम शब्दों में जल्दी बताऊंगा। आंदोलन शुरू हुआ, पूरे पंजाब को पार करके आ गया, किसी आदमी को कोई दिक्कत नहीं है। हमने पहले गेट नहीं लगाए, हमने रास्ता नहीं रोका, जो रोकती है सरकार है। हरियाणा गवर्नमेंट ये सब कर रही है। पंजाब से किसान आ रहे हैं, किसी आदमी को दिक्कत नहीं है। दिल्ली में आएंगे, किसी को दिक्कत नहीं है। किसान को बदनाम करते हैं और बैरिकेड करते हैं, खुद खोदते हैं, वो नुकीले तार लगाते हैं जो जानवरों के लिए प्रतिबंधित है, कीले लगाते हैं। दूसरी जो हमारी चारू प्रज्ञा कह रही थी, मैं इनको एक चीज बताना चाहता हूँ, उत्तर प्रदेश के अंदर बिजली सबसे महंगी है और गन्ना 370 सबसे सस्ता है, और पंजाब के अंदर किसी को बिजली मिलती है और 21 रुपये गन्ना महंगा है, 391 रुपए। कहां से इनका खुद का प्रतिनिधित्व है? पिछले वर्ष का भी गन्ना भुगतान बागपत मलकपुर मिल का अभी तक नहीं हुआ है, पूछिए इनसे। अब इनकी उत्तर प्रदेश में सरकार है, दिल्ली में सरकार है, अपने क्षेत्र में अपने मिल का पिछले साल का गन्ने का भुगतान नहीं करा पा रही हैं। बताइए चारू जी।
नहीं, आई थिंक ये थोड़ा मिसलीडिंग हो रहा है मलिक जी, थोड़ा मिसलीडिंग हो रहा है। चारू प्रज्ञा बागपत से आती है, वो आपका जवाब देंगी। वो थोड़ा मिसलीडिंग हो रहा है, बट चारू
बागपत स्पेसिफिक या वेस्टर्न यूपी स्पेसिफिक अगर ये बातें करते हैं, 90% से ज्यादा गन्ना पैसे का भुगतान हो चुका है। मिल को चलवाने का काम योगी सरकार ने करा है। Had it been up to the previous governments, they were eating away at the money which was owed to the farmers. अरे किसानों के बच्चों के पैरों में चप्पल नहीं होती थी क्योंकि नेताओं को सारे पैसे खा जाने होते थे। आज भुगतान इसीलिए हो रहा है क्योंकि सरकार बदल गई भाई साहब, और इस बात को आप भी जानते हैं, समझते हैं। इसीलिए 4 बार उत्तर प्रदेश में भाजपा को जिताया गया है, 2 बार मोदी जी के लिए, 2 बार योगी जी के लिए। आप इसको नकार नहीं सकते। ग्राउंड रियलिटी ये है, किसानों का भरोसा मोदी योगी के साथ है, आपके ड्रामे के साथ नहीं है।
अलग मैं फिर से आऊंगा, टाइम है हमारे पास, टाइम है, वी हैव टाइम। नहीं, ऐसे नहीं हो सकता मलिक जी। देखिए, 12 करोड़ किसानों को पिछले करीब 5 साल, 4 साल जो पीएम किसान सम्मान निधि मिला है, 6,000 रुपए हर साल के, हर तिमाही में 2,000 रुपए डायरेक्ट।
पीएम किसान योजना 11 करोड़ किसानों को उससे फायदा हुआ है। अभिषेक कैन आई स्पीक प्लीज? And let it not be a fish market.
अपने यहाँ का हमारा पैसा दिलवा दीजिए हमको, जिसका हमने फसल डाली है उसका पैसा दे नहीं रहे। 11 करोड़ किसान तो कह रहे हैं, अभी 2 लाख।
मैं देखिए, सुनिए, ठीक है।
Can I come in, Abhishek, please? Allow me 30 seconds for closing at least.
Yes, Charu. Okay,
so देखिए, it is not just Kisan Samman Nidhi, it is PM Kisan Yojana, it is many things. And the farmers of Uttar Pradesh have proved not once, not twice, not thrice, but 4 times that they stand with Bharatiya Janata Party, they stand with the policies of Yogi ji and Modi ji, because they are the ones who are bringing about transformation at the ground level. They are not the ones who are blockading roads and अपनी खुद की राजनीति चमकाने के लिए किसान की आड़ में बैठे हुए और किसानों का फायदा नहीं करना चाह रहे हैं। भाई, किसानों का फायदा ना एडवोकेसी से होगा। आपके प्रोटेस्ट से कोई किसानों का फायदा नहीं हुआ है, आपने नुकसान ही कराया है।
Okay, but I will focus. Yes, Charu, you know, I want to focus. आशुतोष मिश्रा,
हमको सही, अरे पंजाब के बराबर हमको गन्ने का लाभ तो दिला दीजिए। हमारा इस्तेमाल हो रहा है
मलिक साहब, रुकिए। आज वैसे इस बार आपके टिकैत साहब दिख नहीं रहे कहीं? टिकैत जी दिख नहीं रहे हैं कहीं?
टिकैत जी हमारे नहीं, हमारा अपना अलग स्वतंत्र संगठन है, बीके लोक शक्ति। वो क्या करते हैं, तुम उन पर 300 करोड़ बताते हो, जांच करो, अगर गलत पाया जाता है तो इंक्वायरी करो, जो काम होता है वो करो। तो मैं ये कह रहा हूँ, जो आम किसान है, गरीब किसान है, उसकी तरफ देखो, किसान नेताओं की तरफ ना देखो। किसान नेता ने भ्रष्टाचार किया तो उसके खिलाफ कार्रवाई करो। किसान नेता संपत्ति जुटाता है तो कार्रवाई करो।
आशुतोष,
नेताओं की तरफ देखो, हमें राजनीति नहीं करनी, हमें चुनाव नहीं लड़ना, नहीं चाहिए।
ठीक है,
बताते हैं
चारू, let me.
राजनीति नहीं चमकानी, हम चुनाव नहीं लड़ेंगे, राजनीति आप चमकाओ।
चारू, hold on.
बसपा चमका है, सपा चमका है, कांग्रेस चमका है, भाजपा चमका है। हमें राजनीति नहीं करनी, हमें सत्ता में नहीं जाना।
No, but I am discussing politics.
खेती करनी है, किसान रहना है।
ठीक है, शिवराज जी, मैं थोड़ा सा राजनीति के बारे में चर्चा कर रहा हूँ।
आप ये बात पिछले साल कर
आपका एक मुद्दा है, मैंने बहुत डिस्कस कर लिया उसको।
में जब 2 महीने कम है तभी याद आया।
चारू,
ये राजनीति कहते हैं, इसको भी राजनीति कहते हैं कि चुनाव होने से पहले आफत मचा देते हैं, लड़के रोक देते हैं। इसे राजनीति नहीं कहते।
let me lead the conversation. Okay, now the point is,
70,000 crore.
The point
you even comprehend that amount which was lost in 1 month? 70,000 crore.
Charu, hold on, Charu, please pull back.
Because they did not allow
it's a trap,
the
Charu.
whole country to function.
Okay, Charu, pull back. No, so you see, I have asked this question to both the farmer leaders on the panel about whether they want guarantee of MSP, but can they guarantee that the protests would be peaceful? They will not inconvenience the common citizens of the region, of the geography, for wherever these protests take place. But it's interesting, Ashutosh Mishra, that these protests, you know, India as a whole is an agricultural country. It's still in some ways in terms of its ethos, you know, even if we are becoming a very developed, moving towards being a developed economy with manufacturing and services taking more space than agriculture. But Ashutosh Mishra, why is it that every time the protests happen only in Punjab and Haryana? They are not happening anywhere else. Obviously, there are some elements active in this belt which can create a protest on demand. And maybe they are being tapped by some forces. I'm not naming them. I'm not saying Congress. I'm not saying left. I'm not saying anti-India. I'm not saying anti-social. I'm saying there are some elements who can create a protest on demand, Ashutosh Mishra.
Abhishek, first let me fact check you. I have been hearing this song and dance about PM Kisan scheme, and I had spoken earlier also that in 2023 budget, the amount allotted for PM Kisan Samman Samnidhi was decreased. It wasn't increased. So let's stop this song and dance about how much Narendra Modi cares. I had pointed out that the real wages of agriculture workers have declined in Modi.
Ashutosh Mishra, you know, let me. Okay, no, you are dodging my question, Ashutosh Mishra. So let me put it differently. You are dodging my question, Ashutosh Mishra. So I'm putting it differently. You know, there was a video that came out of P. Chidambaram from 2015, where he clearly stated that farm loan waivers, debt waiver is something which was a mistake, which played havoc with the country's economy and put India at a disadvantage in that period of 2008 to 2010. Congress, of course, won an election. You want to win an election at the expense of the country? See what the Congress did and ultimately paid for.
I think politically also. Ashutosh Mishra, so I think this is time to be responsible. You have to give to the farmers. You have to take care of the farmers. There are 20 schemes in which, farmers are being taken care of. Ashutosh Mishra, but farm loan waiver is something which even P. Chidambaram said is wrong, was a wrong policy, wrong decision.
Because they had made promises to farmers, which now Modi and you has not fulfilled. And that's what the farmers are reminding him. That we voted for you because you had promised us MSP. And you haven't kept your promise, and that is the problem here. When the farmers remind him about the promise, you start talking about this being a political ploy. And what is bad in politics? If the farmers feel that at the time of elections, Narendra Modi listens to them, as I said last time, farmers को किसानों को लगता है कि लातों के बूथ बातों से नहीं मानते. जब उनको लगता है कि मोदी को कि इलेक्शन हार जाएंगे,
you think that the kind of organization that the BJP has, the kind of feedback mechanism that the Prime Minister has, you think the Prime Minister and his team would be closely watching and they know what to do at the right time?
Prime Minister and his team, they watch the whole country, and this must be in their watch. But the main thing is that when you say that essential, things like ambulance. If you take example of Delhi, nearly 50 lakh people, they come out of their home, and everybody they come out is an essential thing. They come out for a job. So nobody is on the streets for just roaming or just for tourism purpose. So whenever you put the city in a state of chaos, everything is essential for that. And we must be reminded of that such kind of protest, what they have resulted to. Several thousands of crores of government revenue. And if you count how much the people have suffered, I was just looking at a video, Abhishek, in the morning, that a woman, elderly woman in Punjab, she was, just crying that what is my fault? Why I am stuck in this ruckus, in this jam because of you? If you have a certain demand, there is a way of demanding it. And the government listen, even if you do this very peacefully. There is no use for hitting the roads and, jamming everything. So the final thing is that farmers, when you say farmer, that means, this word means responsibility.
Okay, let me just put it.
There must be
let me just put it. Malik साहब एक बात बताइए, आपको हम पेंशन दे देते हैं, हम आपको पेंशन देंगे, क्या आप एग्रीकल्चरल इनकम पे टैक्स लगवाने को तैयार हैं? क्योंकि पेंशन तो टैक्स से मिलती है. मैं पेंशन लूंगा पर मैं टैक्स देता हूं. क्या आप अपने एग्रीकल्चरल इनकम पे टैक्स देने को तैयार हैं? आर यू रेडी फॉर एग्रीकल्चरल टैक्स एंड देन टेक पेंशन आउट ऑफ इट?
अभिषेक जी, मैं राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष होने के नाते पूरे भारत की जनता के सामने कहता हूं, हम टैक्स देने के तैयार हैं. हम इससे नहीं कमाते. इससे ये बड़े राजनेता और जो बड़े अधिकारी और उद्योगपति वो इसका लाभ लेते हैं. आम किसान तो चाहता है कि टैक्स के दायरे में आ जाए. उससे तो इन नेताओं को और बड़े अधिकारियों को दिक्कत है. किसान के पास आमदनी नहीं. हम तो कहते हैं तत्काल प्रभाव से इसको टैक्स के दायरे में लाना चाहिए, यानी कि सबकी पोल पट्टी खुल जाएगी. अब बड़े उद्योगपति नेता होते हैं, वो दिखाते हैं कि हमने इतना पैसा इससे कमा लिया, वो अपना बचा लेते हैं. हमारी एक मांग है, जो हम फसल बो रहे हैं, हमारा दाम निश्चित होता है कि इससे कम कोई खरीदता है.
बड़ी बात कही है आपने, मैं आपका समर्थन करता हूं. आपने बड़ी और जिम्मेदारी वाली बात कही है मलिक साहब, मैं आपका समर्थन करता हूं कि एटलीस्ट कोई तो किसानों में से बोल रहा है कि चलो टैक्स लगा दो एग्रीकल्चरल इनकम पे, पता चल जाएगा किसकी टैक्स है.
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल, हम भी सहमत हैं.
बहुत अच्छी बात है.
टैक्स इतनी इनकम में तो ले आओ, टैक्स देने के हालत में
बहुत अच्छी बात है.
माइनस में जा रहा है किसान.
बहुत अच्छी बात है. आकाशदीप मुनि, ओके, आकाशदीप मुनि. There are some very frivolous demands also, and nobody understands it better than the Punjab government led by the Aam Aadmi Party. They are saying that all the cases against those farmers who were indulging in parali burning should be taken back. All those farmers who were protesting in 2021, their protest should be taken back. I am not casting aspersions on all the farmers together. But the fact is, Akashdeep, and your party was playing responsible this time. The fact is that the farmers' protest in 2021 was sought to be hijacked by some elements inimical to India's peace and prosperity. So there is a fear, and that is the reason why the government is acting and the state governments and administrations are acting in the manner in which they are. Akashdeep, I think every side has to be responsible. There is no escaping that.
Abhishek, I totally agree with you that the state government should act, but the state government should not act anti-constitutionally. I have a video which I can play now, in which Haryana Police Ambala threatens the farmers and says that no villager will participate in this Andolan. If any villager is found involved in this Andolan, strict action will be taken against them. And if vehicles, JCB, tractors, villagers are found involved, that will be seized, their passport will be seized. Is it constitutional or anti-constitutional? I want to show. See the video. See the video. ये बोलते हैं कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी,
Charu, you get to respond. Charu, you get to respond. Charu, you get to respond. Last word, Charu, you get to respond.
तो आपको जेल में डाल देंगे. आप पार्टिसिपेट करोगे तो आपको जेसीबी ले जाएंगे.
Okay, Akashdeep, let Charu respond. पंजाब में तो आपकी पुलिस है भाई.
Minimum support price minimum.
Okay, let Charu respond. Akashdeep, 30 seconds. I have to wrap up. Charu, you wrap up with your comments. Charu. Okay, Akashdeep, let Charu respond.
I'll be quick when the others keep quiet. I'll speak, Abhishek. Abhishek, I am the granddaughter of a farmer. I have been raised in my childhood in a very poor farming community. I know how difficult things can be. But how do you improve this? You improve it by working with the government, doing advocacy. You are not improving it by blockading Delhi. You're not improving it by not allowing people to reach their shops and places of work. You're not improving it by causing a loss of 70,000 plus crores to the people in the neighboring regions. And you're definitely not doing it when your objectives are hijacked with people with political motives. Because last farmers' protest, it stopped being about farmers long back. It became only about politics, and Aam Aadmi Party or Congress ya jo bhi hai, they were the ones who were benefiting from it, and the farmers lost out.
Okay, fair enough. You know, this is a conversation we are going to have for the next few days. All sides have shown restraint and have been responsible in their ways. Charu Pragya of the BJP, Binay Singh leaning towards the right, and the two farmer leaders, Shivraj Singh Ji and Malik Saab. Thank you so much for joining us, as also, of course, Akashdeep Muni and Ashutosh Mishra. And a short break. On the other side, Arnab Goswami is back with the debate.
Amity has been ranked amongst the top 3% universities globally, a testimony to Amity's globally benchmarked quality.
सारी बात की बात यही है कि मुझे बस ये लगता है कि मैं एक बहुत मामूली सी औरत हूँ. And the beauty to enjoy being a woman, I think that surpasses all pleasures and all joys, of pride of being a woman. And rest, I think everything has followed. Being who I am, being the person I am. आपने पूरी यात्रा पूछी. बहुत पुरानी यात्रा है, कई वर्षों की. आज चलते हुए ये लगता है जैसे कई जन्म जीत लिए हो, कई जन्म जी लिए हो, और कई चित्र उसमें, कई छवियां याद आती हैं. सबसे पहले माता पिता का एक ऐसी परवरिश याद आती है जहाँ कभी भी कोई फर्क नहीं था लड़का लड़की में. और मैं हमेशा एक बात, किस्सा याद करती हूँ और बताती हूँ कि जब मेरा जन्म हुआ कन्नौज में, तो पिताजी जब वहाँ पर पहुँचे, वो कानपुर में पोस्टेड थे, और मैं पैदा हो गई तो उन्हें पता चला, तब वो वहाँ से वहाँ पहुँचे. तो आते ही उन्होंने अपनी सास से, यानी मेरी नानी से कहा कि अम्मा तुमने बंदूकें छुड़वाई कि नहीं. तो वो अब अपने दामाद से क्या कहें सास, तो उन्होंने उस समय बड़े ही संकोच में कहा कि देखो कैसे बौरान है, बिटिया पे बिटिया भाई, और कह रहे कि बंदूकें छुड़वाओ. कौन सी बहुत खुशी की बात है, बिटिया पे बिटिया भाई, कोई बंदूकें छुड़ाने वाली बात है. यानी कि उस समय का जो परिवेश था कि मेरे से बड़ी बहन थी, तो बेटी पे बेटी हुई है, तो कौन सा सेलिब्रेशन करने का तो कोई इसमें ज़रूरत नहीं कि बंदूकें छुड़वाई जाए. और मेरे पिताजी ने कहा कि मैं डॉक्टर हूँ और ज़िला अस्पताल यानी सरकारी सेवा में हूँ, और मेरा अपना अनुभव रहा है कि अम्मा मरीज भर्ती रहता है तो पिता की सेवा बगल में बैठी बेटी ही करती है, भले बच्चे के इम्तहान छोड़ करके आई हो. लड़का मनी ऑर्डर भेजता है लेकिन सेवा बगल में बैठी बेटी ही करती है. तो ऐसी सोच के साथ मेरा जन्म, मेरी परवरिश हुई. तो ये कह सकते हैं कि जो बायस है जेंडर वाला वो मैंने कभी महसूस नहीं किया, और पढ़ने में भी नहीं। और शायद जो आपने एक बात अभी कही सुचरिता कि बहुत कम लोग जानते हैं आपके व्यक्तित्व के और पहलू, तो उसका शायद एक कारण है कि मैं ऑलराउंडर सी थी, पढ़ाई में भी थी, गाने में भी थी, और दोनों में एक तरह की एक शार्पनेस थी, ब्रिलियंस थी। जब तक समझती कि करूं क्या, गाते गाते शादी भी हो गई। और उसके बाद चूंकि ये सफ़र मैंने तय सोच लिया था मन में कि मेरी एक्सप्रेशन जो भी होगा, मेरा मकसद, मेरे पूरे अध्ययन, मेरी पूरी शिक्षा, मेरी पूरी समझ का जो अंजाम होना चाहिए वो कहीं ना कहीं समाज को कुछ सकारात्मक बड़ा देने का होना चाहिए, समय को, विचार को बदलने वाला होना चाहिए, किसी के लिए कुछ अच्छा कर सकने वाला होना चाहिए। ये मेरे हमेशा दिमाग में था। डॉक्टर पिता की बेटी थी, और फिर जैसा बताते हैं कि एंटरटेनमेंट तो है गाना, लेकिन आई चोज टू सॉ बियॉन्ड इट। और कहीं ना कहीं जो अपने हमारे लिव्ड एक्सपीरियंसेस हैं, हमारे पूर्वजों के जो ट्रेडिशंस हैं, जो बॉन्डिंग है, कल्चरल इथॉस है पूरे इंडियन इकोसिस्टम का, लाइफ सिस्टम का, वो कैसे हमारे मातृशक्ति ने, कैसे हमारे दादियों ने गानों के जरिए, लोक कथाओं के जरिए, फोक थिएटर के जरिए, लोकाचार के जरिए कैसे उसको बचा के रखा, नई जनरेशन को सिखाया। आई डोंट दैट रोल के आई हैव टू कैरी फॉरवर्ड दिस, आई हैव टू टॉक अबाउट इट।
How many of you had those goosebump moments when we had our Chandrayaan landing on the moon? And you know, she is someone who was integral, or has been integral to not just Chandrayaan, in fact, ma'am, right? Many other of our projects which ISRO has spearheaded over the last couple of years.
Yeah. I'm handling all the interplanetary missions and the low Earth orbit missions, and I'm also the project director for the Aditya L1 mission, which sets up the first country's solar observatory.
So let's begin with that only, because I remember when the Aditya L1 was launched, you said it's a dream come true. Yeah. So why did you say that it's a dream come true?
In space missions, especially science missions, are very challenging because the instruments what we need to build, it's quite challenging. And it took for me 8 years back when I was handed over the project director post. It was really challenging. I was always looking for the day that a spacecraft will be completed and it will be launched. That's why I said it's a dream come true.
So the journey of conceptualizing Aditya and then seeing it go there.
Because it's a collaborative effort, not only with ISRO, other science institutes also, we had instruments from them. So working with them and making them build the instrument and deliver to us, that's a lot of people management is very, very important in those aspects. So it was, that's why I said dream come true.
Right, okay, so the success part of it. So let's keep the science for later. Let's go back to the beginning and what really inspired you to pick up science and when you started, like class 11, class 12, did you think in terms of being part of ISRO, being part of Chandrayaan, or was it one step at a time? You were interested in maths. How your interest in science and maths began essentially?
It's all because of my father. He is a graduate in mathematics in those days of 30s, 40s, and he is a voracious reader too. So he developed the interest of science in us, in all his children. So, and I felt naturally I had, what is that? I like to do the science, especially maths and physics. Because later, during my school days, I remember why I was so happy to do maths and physics is because we don't need to study a lot. If you understand the logics behind it, it will be always easy.
How many of you agree with that? Is it easy? Like she's saying it's so easy? Okay, carry on.
Yeah. Because what I felt is in biology and chemistry and all, if you see, a lot of things you have to remember, you need to study a lot. Even in medicine, if you take, you need to study a lot. But here in the maths and physics, I always felt that if you understand the logics behind it and how the...
trending burning question, powered by Reva University and Century Club Prime.
भारत माता की जय, भारत माता की जय। बस इंडिया पहुंच गए हम सेफ एंड साउंड और डेफिनेटली ऑनरेबल प्राइम मिनिस्टर श्री मोदी को धन्यवाद करना चाहेंगे कि उनके पर्सनल इंटरवेंशन से ये पॉसिबल हुआ और गवर्नमेंट ऑफ कतार के हिज एक्सेलेंसी द अमीर को कि उन्होंने ये होने दिया।
Without the intervention of Prime Minister Modi, it wouldn't be. आज हम आपके सामने खड़े नहीं हो रहे होते।
ये कहना चाहेंगे कि ये वाले दिन का हम बहुत दिनों से वेट कर रहे थे और प्राइम मिनिस्टर मोदी और उनका पर्सनल इंटरवेंशन, उनका इंटरेक्शन और एक और मौका लेना चाहता हूँ कि थैंक करूँगा अमीर को कतर के जिनके उनके इंटरेक्शन के कारण आज हम यहाँ खड़े हैं।
We have waited almost 18 months to be back in India. We are extremely grateful to the Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji. It certainly wouldn't have been possible without his personal intervention and that equation with the Emir of Qatar.
Hidden in their rhetoric was 3.8 lakh crores of bad financial assets. That in the decade that was lost opportunities. 14 social and rural sector ministries had a budget of 95,000 crores that was left unspent. That 6.4% of our national budget was left unspent, that too in segments that needed it the most, helps us understand why I articulate the UPA era as the lost decade. That in that decade, the out-of-pocket expenditure for health nationally stood at 64.2%. That the lost decade led by the Congress party, and I still remember that evening where a TV studio was lit in July 2012, but 62 crore Indians were left behind in pitch darkness, the largest ever power outage. That is the decade that we've emerged from towards the light of development. That many amongst you have heard the Prime Minister articulate how we emerged from the fragile 5 to now the 5th largest economy in the world. But if I gave this emergence a gender lens, what would that lens help us see? Ladies, for your consumption, I say this. This white paper may not possibly outline, however, it is in black and white written, that when the Congress led UPA took office, across government of India on the schemes for welfare for women, a measly 10,845 crore rupees was spent. That by the time the Congress left office and Modi became Pradhan Sevak, this year's budget, if you look at it from a gender perspective, has estimated a spend of 3.1 lakh crores. That is the jump, not only in numbers, but ambition. So when I look back at the decade that was lost, I remember in the year 2013, came a report which said that 6% of our GDP was negatively impacted because of lack of sanitation coverage. But what alarmed us even more is that when crime against women and numbers associated with it were studied, close to 40 to 44% of sexual assault on women in that lost decade led by the Congress party 40 to 44% of such assaults happened when women went out to defecate in the open. That this was not only a sanitation problem, this was not only a problem with regards to violence against women. This became a way of life for women who saw no hope.
Yes, it's a very slippery slope that we're on, that from looking into our mirrors to say how are we looking today, into your image deciding how you feel today. That's something which is a very slippery slope. And as we were talking about this, I actually fast forwarded to my life like 20 years. I'm almost 40. I'm almost 40 now. And I rewinded 20 years ago when I was a participant in the Miss India pageant. I was a participant in the Miss India pageant, and I was from a very good college. I had gotten a very good scholarship to study in a college abroad, and I came to do this beauty pageant on a whim. And I walked out of this pageant because I couldn't even at that age, the thought of being judged for the way that I looked was something I couldn't handle. I just couldn't, that wasn't something that sat right. And I actually ended up writing a book about that pageant, which became really a bestseller and kickstarted my career as a writer, and which then further went on to a deeper consciousness about wellness and teaching yoga, and that becoming something that I wanted to give to this world. But it's also the passage of time. For me at that age, thinking that this was the way that I looked would define me into that journey, that this had nothing to do with who I was. And then as you age, you realize even more how fleeting the way that you look is, and how it really doesn't matter. But what's more important is the state of your own mind. And that's what my yoga journey led me to, that it's not the state of my face, it's not the state of my career. Ultimately, what's making me happy is the state of my mind. And if the state of your mind is correct, then no matter what happens to you in life, your life will always remain balanced. Like no matter जो भी आपकी जिंदगी में हो रहा है, अगर आपकी स्थिरता मन की रहती है, तो आप कुछ भी कर सकते हैं. And then that's slowly how things progressed. So it really is a journey, but it took me, it started for me much later, because we weren't exposed to so much, but I now see that things are happening at a much younger age. So that actually makes our job, very important, that we have to start spreading that awareness, much more so, that it's not the state of your face, it's not the state of your body, it's the state of your mind which will ultimately make you a successful human being. It's not how much money you make, it's not how much fame you get. And it's interesting because now I'm in Mumbai and I teach and I interact with some of the most famous people, in Bollywood, and I understand that it doesn't matter how you look, it's ultimately the state of your mind. And wo log itni fitness, physical level pe
Amity has been ranked amongst the top 3% universities globally, a testimony to Amity's globally benchmarked quality.
I am very, very happy to announce that Niva Bupa Health Insurance has come on board as Republic TV's studio partner. Niva Bupa Health Insurance is the fastest growing company among standalone health insurance players in India. It has also provided health insurance coverage to 1.1 crore people in India and settled over 15 lakh claims, processing one claim every 60 seconds. So we are delighted to be partnering with them.
From the Delhi studios of Republic TV, it's time for Arnab Goswami on the debate.
Arnab Goswami on the debate at 9, presented by Amity University, powered by RP Sanjeev Goenka, Century Club Prime, Policy Bazaar, AMNS India and Punch EV.
Good evening and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. When the pot of evil overflows, when there is so much evil which has been done, then nothing can stop the tide of anger. In Bengal today, there is so much corruption. In Bengal today, there is so much repression. In Bengal today, there is so much injustice that Mamata Banerjee cannot either control or cover up anymore. The Lutyens media, the paid media has been hiding the evil that has been overflowing at the hands of the political mafia in Sandeshkhali in Bengal, but you need to know. You need to know what's happening in Bengal. In a nutshell, in Sandeshkhali in Bengal, a Trinamool mafia don called Shah Jahan, the same man, the same mafia don who attacked and tried to kill ED officials when they raided him, has under the watch of the Mamata Banerjee government committed such evil acts that there is a public revolt in response. That too one led by women against Shah Jahan and Mamata Banerjee. Women who say shockingly that young married women are picked up and sexually exploited by Trinamool goons at will. That this sexual exploitation and this rape is a normal and regular occurrence. And that now these women have decided that regardless of whatever pressure comes from Mamata Banerjee's government, they will take it no more. Women who say farmlands are grabbed, the land made deliberately saline so there can be no crops grown, and only shrimp farming made possible, which the mafia don of the Trinamool Congress, Shah Jahan, profits from. Imagine, viewers, wherever you are watching this today, mass rape and land grabbing, and a woman chief minister called Mamata Banerjee, who doesn't say a word. Not one word, not one word, not one word, as she begins to face wave after wave of a counter-uprising and public anger and public revolt. They are comparing this to Nandigram, when Mamata had accused the left of land grabbing. But that was the left for the Tata Singur project. This time it's land grabbing by her own party mafia for their own private benefit. Mamata Banerjee tries to control and intimidate the media. Especially, she tries to attack Republic Bangla. Her police give this notice, that notice, waste our time, try to put pressure on us. Why? Because they know we show the truth. And she's afraid and insecure. They're afraid that we are covering the real news and exposing the torrent of misdeeds by her government and her ruling party. But Mamata Banerjee should read the signals and realize someone should tell her that Sandeshkhali is bigger than Nandigram. And like the left thought that nobody can end their decades of misrule, that nobody can end their tyranny, she should not have the same misgivings, because history is repeating itself here. Ladies and gentlemen, the only national network exposing exactly what's going on, the evil, corruption, and the repression that's going on under the Mamata Banerjee government in Bengal. Sandeshkhali, the big story tonight, where women are alleging systematic sexual exploitation and land grabbing by Mamata's leaders. That's debate 1 tonight, viewers. Debate 2, top-level meetings in Pakistan, no government yet. The irony, the loser Dallewal could be Prime Minister. And debate 3 tonight, viewers, mega build-up in terms of politics and mobilization, an attempt to turn the Delhi, to encircle Delhi in the name of a farmers' protest. That's debate 3, and here are the headlines this Monday evening on the debate tonight. Mamata Banerjee facing a massive, mega, huge women's uprising of anger as the women of Sandeshkhali allege sexual exploitation systematically by Trinamool leaders.
She is a competent chief minister if she presumes herself to